in state law where it allows counties to regulate astrologers, there's certain restrictions in terms of how much you can charge them for a fine and what you can do. These are the oddities that you find in law. And so when we found that, we just put it to the general penalties of Section 1 of the charter, because we were not constrained as a city as counties are. I would also point out to you, though, that there is the chapter, or Article 12, which is the county adult entertainment establishments provisions that we are carrying over in toto from the county.
Okay. We already asked for a motion. Is there a motion on the floor?
I move that we adopt ordinance 2012-12-08, an emergency ordinance to adopt and approve Chapter 15 licenses, permits, and miscellaneous business regulations, the Code of Ordinances for the City of Brookhaven.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, discussion. I would just like to note that Article 7, dealing with folks who are peddlers, door-to-door salesmen, all of us up here probably operate without a license for the last 3 months. We've been peddling and going door-to-door, so please put a provision there exempting this.
Just not selling anything.
Does it provide for the same permit, door-to-door sales permit that the DeKalb County has?
It is.
Okay.
I just carried everything up.
And if somebody has a DeKalb permit, is it valid under this ordinance?
It would be.
Okay.
Those are things that we would work out, council member, in terms of how we transition over.
All right. Any more discussion? All in favor of 2012-1208, signify so by saying aye, please.
Aye.
All opposed? Madam Clerk, please enter the minutes that ordinance is passed. Number 10.
Number 10, Mayor and Council, is ordinance 2012-12-09. This is consideration and approval of an emergency ordinance to adopt and approve Chapter 24 taxation for the Code of Ordinances for the City of Brookhaven. I have sent this ordinance over to Mr. Pike for his review and approval. He has given me a couple of small things that he wanted changes that we have reflected on there, and so otherwise that it reflects the codified ordinance of DeKalb County.
All right, so motion on the floor. I got Mr. Dr. Dunn Gilmore.
All right, I'll move to approve ordinance 2012-12-09. Approval of an emergency ordinance to adopt and approve Chapter 24 taxation for Code of Ordinances for the City of Brookhaven.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of 2012-1209, please signify so by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Madam Clerk, please enter the minutes. Ordinance is passed. Action item number 11.
Mayor and Council, this is an action item. This is a report and consideration of request for authorization for agreement with DeKalb County, Georgia for continuation of services. Mayor and Council, previously, Mr. Benson, the chair of the Governor's Commission, and myself were tasked with working with DeKalb County and working on the intergovernmental agreements. We bring this before you tonight to get your authority, if you desire, for us to continue and hopefully with Ms. Garrett as the city manager to continue on that. And also we would ask for the authority, if we need to retain certain experts as we might need in our negotiation and assessment of the differences that we might have with the county in terms of costs or other kinds of issues as we go forward on the negotiation on the intergovernmental agreements.
Okay. Your motion on the floor.
I move that we authorize Marie Garrett, Bill Riley, and Ted Benson to negotiate on our behalf, and to allow them to pull in consultants as they feel necessary to help with the negotiations, and particularly when it comes to their financial considerations and where some of the numbers are coming from. So,
Say those names again. So
Bill Riley, Marie Garrett, Ted Benson,
any
and
other?
a cast of that.
All right. discussion?
Just for clarification purposes, if you decide to bring on an expert, will that individual be presented to council, for Steve oriented?
If it's outside the main, I would always bring them to you. You know, I have authority to go and do certain things, and within the purview of a narrow vein, I would probably just go ahead. But council member, I've been doing it a long time, and I'm not going to spring anything on the council. So I would, if there was anything else that I needed, I would come and ask you about it.
Thank you for that.
Well, I think for the purposes of efficiency and time management, use the resources you feel best will get the job done. But before we adopt these intergovernmental contracts, you present them to the council.
Absolutely. The council member, we would be in interim reports to you about everything that's going on as it goes on, because we can't make policy. All we could do is act on your behalf and continue to get feedback from the mayor and council to ensure that we're doing what you asked us to do.
Thank you. Any more discussion? Okay, all in favor of action item number 11, please signify so by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Madam Clerk, please enter into the record that action item 11 is passed. Number 12.
Mayor and council, I had thought I carried this over to midnight, but I think I've tried to run everything up since I got 10 o'clock as an early start day. This is an action item to authorize me to notify DeKalb County regarding certain services to the new city that we would want to take on as the new city of Brookhaven, Georgia. There's a 30-day requirement under the charter if you wish to take on planning and zoning and public works, which are the two that we really are talking about, that to give them notice on. If we do that if I notify them on tomorrow, we will be able to start on 17th of January, and that is the date of the end of the moratorium. And as council member Irish asked previously, could we continue a moratorium? The answer would be yes. But in order for us to continue a moratorium without the agreement of DeKalb County and leave us in a place to be able to defend any kind of things that might occur, we have to go ahead and notify that we're going to take over those services. So I bring it to you, and I'm here to answer any questions that you have. And that's where we are in terms of the time frame to make the 30 days.
Is there a motion on the floor?
I move to table this item.
Is there a second to that? Is there a second? Is there another motion on the floor?
May I second that?
Second the tabling of this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Now we have discussion.
Since this is so critical to our operational processes, if we table this, we are in essence tabling this to a future date, preventing us from taking over operations on the 17th. I'd just like to understand why.
Not necessarily. I guess I'm not comfortable approving this without, we don't have public works in place, we don't have community development in place. So our two vendors that are critical to the beginning of those operations have not yet been approved by the council. So I'm not comfortable
Let me ask you
moving
this.
forward with notice. And I understand that if we provide notice at a later date, we still can begin operating services, offering services on the 17th. I want to make sure that we have everything in place before we cut ourselves off.
Would this, if we did authorize this rather than table it, would this mean that you have carte blanche to start notifying the cabinet, or would you take direction from the council to notify?
I would take this as that I need to authorize, I need to notify. I
understand the council.
If I could address Councilmember Ira's concerns, the difference is, it's not that DeKalb would not continue to deliver services for us. There's two ways DeKalb can deliver services for us. They either deliver services under the charter, which is that you have to, it's the continuation transitional services for a 2-year period. Or otherwise, they deliver by an intergovernmental agreement. All right? Their continuation of services under the charter is problematic. And their continuation of services under an intergovernmental agreement is far less problematic. I would be glad to explain that to you, but I would prefer.
Basically, what he's asking, correct me if I'm wrong, is if we haven't adopted service providers to provide the services that we're planning on taking over, and you notify the County that we were going to take over the services, it puts us in a box to have to do something within a certain time. So what I'm asking is, maybe we can have another motion that says you have the authorization with notice or approval. I guess it would be the same thing.
Let's approach it from this way. Is there a way to notify the county? If we get up to the 29th day and we don't have our services in place, to notify them to extend and continue to provide services?
We table this to the 1201 meeting? No, can't.
The problem is that they're all specially called meetings, and we can't add things. We could take a recess if you desire to, prior to the vote.
Let me just make sure I understand. We have to give DeKalb County 30 days, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the fact that we don't have a couple of our vendors in place right now doesn't mean we're not going to have them in place within 30 days, certainly. And they'll be ready to be up and running within 30 days, right?
Everybody who has bid on these projects has said that they can be up and ready to run, generally speaking, on January the 1st, not the 17th.
Right. So is it not in our best interest that we go ahead and do this immediately so that we really can't, we have to give them 30-day notice. We can't really start providing our own services till the 17th. Is that right?
We cannot.
So if the more we delay this, we just keep adding to that time. Is that right?
That is correct. And you get to a place, if you delay it, then you have to negotiate how you're going to have that service delivery done by DeKalb County. And they have to be amenable.
Well, let me ask one last question again, because I'm going to get clarification. Is there any way that if we adopt this, if we give them notice that we're going to take over services in 30 days, is there a way to not have to go forward with that if we find that our contract is
He's got to have the authority to be able to provide the notice.
No.
I understand kind of both sides of this. So, how about what services would you be referring to? You need authorization to provide notice for?
Public Works, Public Works, and Community Development are the types of your two that you do. You already have your finance, you have your administration set up. That's your backbone. You have your IT set up. So that's yours. The IGAs we will continue with will be fire and police. Those continue. Those are your basic services that your city provides. Parks and Rec, they can ride.
There will be an IGA for DeKalb providing services during the notice period, correct?
I would anticipate that we will negotiate an IGA for police and for fire. Those are both services.
What about Public Works? What about Public Works and Community Development?
Which is the notice.
Those
So
are.
they would have to provide those services during a notice period, or will they continue on the?
They have a moratorium in place on all of those issues to the 17th of January. If you would take a recess, council member, I would give you further information.
Let's take a 5-minute recess. Okay. Well, that's right.
Is there any reason we can't, I mean,
Yes, ma'am.
okay.
How about can we skip to 13, 14, 15, then come back and recess? So,
You can.
we're going to skip, is there a motion on the floor?
I'm going to skip it for now.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Opposed? All right. Skippage. Okay. All right, action item number 13.
The action item 13 was a consideration of the Governor's Commission's recommendation on contract and task award for Public Works. I understand that we did not get the Public Works documents out to you until yesterday, and you may wish to table that item until you all have more time to review the bid documents that we have given to you.
Is there a motion on the floor? Action item 13.
I'm going to table this item.
Okay. Any second?
I second that.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of tabling action item 13, please signify so by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It's tabled, Madam Clerk. Number 14.
Number 14, Mayor and Council, we're requesting a motion to reconsider the Governor's Commission recommendation on task order award for finance and administration. There's been a technical problem that's occurred in one of these bid documents wherein we need to determine that we're not going to give a contract to Severn Trent, and any of you other than Council Member Madison can make that motion because you were on the affirmative in the prior vote.
All right.
And so anyone who was in the affirmative can move to amend it.
Motion on the floor.
Now, I so move to accept action item 14, motion to reconsider Governor's Commission recommendation on contract and task order award for finance and administration.
Is the form of that motion then, Councilmember Gebbia,
Yes,
that
thank
you wish to delete Severn Trent as one of the bidders who receives the contract?
To add on, to delete
To delete.
the contractors, Severn Trent, from the
From the contract that
The
we
contract.
previously awarded to.
from the previous contract as awarded.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of action item 14, please signify so by saying aye.
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 All opposed? All right, Madam Clerk, please enter the minutes. Action item 14 is passed. Number 15.
The number 15 is consideration of an interim contract with UHY. We've not finished our task order and the contract with them, and in order to keep them moving along, there's been an interim contract proposed. It's been sent to the Mayor and Council previously for your consideration. That contract does not add dollars to it. It just peels off some of the dollars that are out there for the entire year and sets it up for a shorter period of time. And we'd ask that you approve that so they can continue working.
Is there a motion on the floor? Judge.
So moved.
All right. All right. You have to say it.
You don't really have to on
Okay.
these.
All right.
It's just on when we're doing all those ordinances. I just want to make a recommendation.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, just to be clear, the latest contract that you emailed to the council was the one with the changes in, it, correct?
This interim contract is the one that has been vetted by the mayor and council in the last couple of days. This is a short period of time where we're going to go ahead and set up how we're going to do business with them. We're peeling out some of the money that will go toward the longer term contract and putting it in for the short term so they can get started while we continue to work out the rest of it.
Yeah, I just want to make it clear that I understand which one is the most current one with the changes. It's the one that you just sent out.
It's the one that's in your package today.
Okay.
All right, any more discussion?
Section 5, city obligations, are those defined somewhere? All information, equipment, and instruction necessary for provider, is there an agreement that we provided what we,
Let's bring
What we
Mr.
need to
Pike
provide.
up and give him an answer all of it. Mr. Pike?
I understand this is an interim, but open-ended language like that.
I understand. Well, we get it from the,
We restate the question.
It says one of the sections, city shall provide.
Number 5, city obligation.
Yeah, city shall provide provider with all information, equipment, and instruction necessary for provider to perform their services. Have we provided, or is there an understanding, I guess, does JD know what you need to provide your services?
Yeah, that's the language that was in the initial contract. We have what we need to get started.
Okay.
Obviously, long-term, there's additional things that will be needed, but for now, we've got the bare minimums that we need to get involved on.
Okay, thank you. Counselor, item 6A, limits liability. They seem a little light. Have those been revised?
we hadn't, but we can.
Where is this limited liability that you're talking about?
6A. Just not to exceed the fees to be paid. Just, I mean, do we have any other,
We could put more in there.
I don't know whether the liabilities we have, but I just,
No,
I'm not comfortable with that in contracts I don't want to do.
Here's the way, the question really becomes is where do you want to go with it all? Do you want them to go buy more insurance and then they put more into our cost of it, and we have an overlapping insurance? When we also are going to have insurance that we're going to have that covers ourselves and our contractors. So we will have insurance that covers the activities that they do, and they can have separate insurance.
Are they not required to have a much larger policy for the contract? The overall contract, that this is sort of an interim?
We have not negotiated the rest of that contract at this point.
This is an interim contract, and that can be negotiated.
That's the reason that we have this here, is that we have not gone through and negotiated the rest of the contract.
And
I'll defer to council on the limits of liability.
We're covered. Councilman Reed, the reality of it all is that our GMA covers us and covers all the contractors. And it really becomes, it becomes how do you spend your money? We were finding in some of the other cities that we were spending $300,000 or $400,000 in a contract to buy insurance that we were also covered through our insurer on, and we were just paying it twice.
But
So,
it's noted that what your concern is, and we can address that.
yes, sir.
It should be addressed.
Yeah, so long as we're covered, then we're good.
And the anticipated time period of this is really just until now, until we negotiate.
I think that it's probably through the end of January, is that right? January 31.
Yeah, I'm sorry, on the rules.
Your name? Who you with? Sit back now. Okay, is there a second?
I thought the scope took it through the end of the year.
Yes.
The contract was,
Well, this is the interim.
this interim agreement was through the end of the year.
Yeah.
My name is Frank Pinello with UHY. So the contract ends on January 31st, 2013, with the time of the essence, meaning that we want to try to get negotiated by January 17th to have everything in place.
So this will be,
It's just a bridge
finalized
agreement
by the 17th.
to get things started.
Thank you. All right. We have a motion, right?
Yes.
Okay, and is there any more discussion? All in favor of action item 15, please signify so by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None approved. This action item 15 is passed. Okay, let's go back to number 11 now. I don't know that we need to recess for it, but you have more questions about that, just go ahead, please.
I think a recess would be helpful on it. It's an important issue that obviously there's something that legal counsel wants to discuss with the council, I think. Taking a 5-minute break.
Yeah, real quick, he can't discuss it with all five, so it's only going to be two of you.
I'll discuss it with those who have the greatest interest in it at this point.
So we'll take a 5-minute recess. I don't want anybody going anywhere. So this is,
There's two groups, yeah,
so we're 5-minute recess, we'll be back in 5 minutes. Sorry, guys.
I think the law was going back to the law. The law was
Call meeting back to order to address action item number 11. Is there a motion on the floor?
Presently, motion suspended, Mayor.
Is there a motion to untable the motion? To read?
No, the first thing you do is to have, you hadn't stated the motion.
I can't state the motion.
Well, once you've stated the motion, that you'd have to vote on it. But if you've not stated the motion, then it's appropriate that if you desire to, the movant may withdraw the motion.
Who made it? Was it Rebecca that made the motion? Or Jim
Mr.
made
Iyer
the
made the motion. Mr. Gebbia second.
I'm sorry, you said I remove, I moved to remove.
All you have to do is state that you wish to withdraw your motion.
Like to withdraw the motion at this point.
On action item number 11.
Yeah, action item number 11.
Okay.
Then
Is there a second?
it's better.
No second?
He has an absolute right to
Okay.
withdraw until you've stated the motion
All right.
for a vote. So he's withdrawn the motion, and now the
Going.
action item is back on the floor for the,
Sorry, it was action item 12, not 11, right?
Yes.
You withdraw the,
I'm sorry, yeah, 12. Withdraw the motion to table on action item 12, the authorizing the attorney to provide notice to Grant County.
is there another motion on the floor?
I move that we direct the acting city attorney to move forward to notify the county regarding certain services to the city of Brookhaven.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
if I might make an inquiry, you wish for me to notify them on Public Works and Community Development. Is that correct?
That's correct. We want you to go ahead, I believe, and give them the 30-day notice.
I will.
Is there any more discussion? All in favor of action item 12, please signify so by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Opposed? Madam Clerk, the action item 12 is passed. All right, going down to letter M, other business.
I know of no other business unless the mayor and council wishes to bring something forward.
Okay.
I have a question. This be done, just an open question.
That has to relate to the,
I don't think it would.
all right. Any other business? All right, public comments? Are there any public comments? Number 4 that we talked about? Form hand to the clerk, you have a public comment, please do so. No public comments, move on to 0, mayor's comments. Mayor's a little bit hungry. But that's all the comments I have. E, we have no need for executive session. Is there a motion for adjournment?
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second? Any discussion? All in favor of adjourning, please signify so by saying aye. All opposed? Madam Clerk, this meeting is adjourned, and we have another one coming up in the